When y'all see these out, you know what time it is, y'all. You know what time it is. It's time for us to put our studs in the ground. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kim and you are at Kim's Cozy Corner. It is April 1st and this is not April Fool's Day. I am really truly going to start my potatoes today. I've already laid my bed out a little bit, but I'm going to talk you through the process that I use just in case you need to know how to do this yourself. I am choosing to use a 17-inch metal raised bed today to start my potatoes. And I am going to start several different varieties of potatoes. I'm going to have early season potatoes, which are anywhere from 55 days all the way up to about 75 days. I'm going to do some mid-season potatoes. That's 70 up to about 90 days. And then I'm going to do some late season potatoes as well. And those go anywhere from 90 plus, right? 110, whatever. But that's just an estimate, y'all. We are going to love our potatoes. We are going to be happy with them. And as long as they're happy, we're going to be happy. We're not going to worry about counting 50 days, 90 days, 110 days. We're going to let them tell us when they're ready to come out of the ground. As far as the different varieties that I'm growing this year, there's several, but I will explain the ones I'm growing in this bed right here since this happens to be where we are right now. We are going to do Purple Viking, and here's a picture of Purple Viking. It's my absolute favorite potato. I love the purples and the pink splotches on the outside, but the inside, that white flesh is so good. And when I go to can, it's one of my best canning tomatoes or potatoes out there. They stay kind of firm. They don't get mushy in that canning process. Now, if you're new here, you may not be aware, but I grow all of my own potatoes. I don't buy the stuff from the store. I will buy a good seed potato though. And this year, all of my seed potatoes, so all of my starts that you see in this bed right here, all of them came from the main potato lady. There are many great companies out there. You can get true seed potatoes, which will keep you from getting disease and viruses and things like that, right? It'll keep all that kind of stuff out. But you can also go to the supermarket, and if you see a potato getting an eye on it, if it's sprouting, throw that thing in the ground, and guess what? You're going to have some potatoes coming in. There are other companies out there besides the main potato lady. Just find a great company, make sure that, you know, they're a reputable company, and you should be good to go. We're going to do Purple Viking, mid-season potato, if I remember correctly. Behind them, we're going to do Kennebec. Here's a picture of Kennebec. I brought Kennebec back 2 years ago, and then both years, it didn't fail. It didn't fail last year. The year before, it did not fail me. Nice, big potatoes. I did leave them in the ground a little too long. Some of them got mushy on me. But other than that, nice potato. Kennebec is an all-around potato. You can mash it, you can, bake it, you can broil it. It's just good for everything. And then down on the end, I'm doing Desiree. Desiree, I brought to my garden for the first time last year. And honestly, it was a really good red potato. And I've grown a lot of different red potatoes, but Desiree did well last year. So we're bringing it back again this year. So that's what's in this bed. As I move to other areas, I'll share what's growing in those beds as well. Before I can get the potatoes in this bed here, I want to tell you what I need to do to make sure that this bed is ready to accept their new partners in crime. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to add some general fertilizer. I went and picked up my favorite, which is Dr. Earth. It's a 463. It's an all-around fertilizer, general granular fertilizer. It's going to give me slow release throughout the season. In addition to my general fertilizer, I am going to do a blood meal, and I have it right here. And blood meal is a 1200. The 12, that first number, those three numbers, if you didn't know, those three numbers, that's your N, P, and K. So the 12 is in the N position. That's your nitrogen. That's what That's what your greenery wants, right? So when these potatoes first start coming up, they're going to really tie into that 12 that this blood meal is going to provide for it. It's going to accept those sun rays, it's going to get happy, and it's going to establish the plant for you. Now, once you've done that, you got that plant established, right? And it's got nice green leaves on it. One of the signs, but not the only, that this isn't always true, but usually when your potato plants start blooming, that's when you know there are potatoes down below. But the potatoes down below, hey, the general fertilizer is doing a little work, right? That middle number is the P, is doing some work. It's a 6 on this one, but it's a root crop, y'all. You need to get down to the roots and provide it with the nutrition it's looking for. And that's what the bone meal is for me. And so bone meal is a 318-0, that middle number. If you think about N, P, and K, N is above ground. That's the greenery. P, below ground. That's what the bone meal is going to do. It's going to take care of this root crop. And then K is the last number, and that's kind of like an all around. It's going to help above, it's going to help below, it's going to help in between, it's going to help on the right, on the left. Y'all know what I'm trying to say, right? And so these two have no K whatsoever, but my general fertilizer does. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm giving it a well-balanced meal as we put them in the ground. I also like to get fish meal, but y'all, that stuff stinks. And I can't find it in any other form than liquid. And I'm not dealing with that liquid. That's disgusting. I can't do the liquid fertilizer, not the fish liquid fertilizer. I can't do it. So there'll be no fish meal this year, just blood meal, bone meal, and my general fertilizer. I'm going to get this spread around the bed. I'm spacing my potatoes about 8 inches apart, somewhere between 6 and 8, we'll see. For my purple Vikings, they can become lonkers on you if you give them too much room. So for them, you might want to crowd them in a little bit. Same thing for like Yukon Gold. That's another one that can become a lonker. Kennebec can get really big as well. So depending on the potato you're growing, you might want to make them a little closer or give them a little more room. If I was doing a russet, which I am, in another bed, and I'll show you that in just a minute, for russet potatoes, I'm going to try to give them a little extra room because, y'all, I want that big bacon potato. I want it to be like this. I want it to be like a small baby. And so in order to get that, you got to give them some room to spread their legs underneath the ground. So anyway, I think I've told you enough. I'm going to get started. I got to get all these bags open because I haven't even opened the bags. In past years, I have cut my seed potatoes to give me more seed potatoes. You usually get more. They're usually smaller, but I'm leaving them all whole this year, which I've never done before. I'm completely leaving each and every one of them whole, even when they're this big monster size like this one right here. I'm leaving it whole, y'all, and I'm going to see if that makes a difference in the bed. I've always grown my purple Vikings down on that end down there, and they've done amazing for me every year for the last, I think, 2 or 3, 4 years, whatever it is. But this year I'm moving them down on this end. And I've remodeled the whole, or redesigned the whole garden. So I'm hoping it's going to allow this bed to get more sun throughout the day, even though I know it's going to get shaded a little bit in the evening. But by the time we get to the evening, y'all, we're not going to care because this bed's already going to be so happy and full of bringing in all that nutrition. It doesn't care about that evening sun. To prepare this bed, I brought in some used Happy Frog from other containers. So we brought in some used potting soil. It's Happy Frog. It's used. It came out of one of my green stalks, which I have just over here behind me. So we emptied that out because we're going to gift that green stalk this year to someone else who's trying to garden for the first time. So we are emptying that one out, and we took all the soil and we put it in here, and they had strawberries. Y'all, I don't think these strawberries made it in any way, shape, or form, but they in a bed here with these potatoes. If they start coming up, we'll pull them out and we'll put them somewhere else. That's it. I didn't do anything else to this bed, but we're getting ready to put fertilizer in this bed. Since I've already laid all my potatoes out, y'all, I'm gonna have to do this one spot at a time. So I'll show you my process really quickly here. I got my name tags ready to go. And then I'll just get this step done and I'm gonna have you do something else. So there's my granular fertilizer, mixing it in pretty good. This is my blood meal, and I've never had it like pellets before, but these are pellets versus very thin, thin powdery. So they're pellets. So there's my blood meal. Same thing with my bone meal. It's right here. I'm gonna mix it in, and I'm gonna mix it kind of deep, y'all. Potatoes are heavy feeders. Got it mixed in. Boop. Drop the potato in. I like to plant my potatoes at least 4 inches deep, preferably 6. I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to hill them up. They will be fine at the 4 to 6 inch deep. There's no reason to hill it up. It's down there. It's good to go. Can you hill your potatoes? Absolutely. I'm not. Okay, there's the first one in. I'll show you one more. Grab a handful of this fertilizer, mix it in, a little blood meal, a little bone meal, mix it in, get that potato down there, and voila, it's good to go. And then we can do this all the way down for this whole bed, and then I'll bring you back and tell you what's the next step for this bed. But while I'm working on this, my brother's gonna be working on something else. So my brother's here helping me out again today, which I'm very thankful for. But while I'm working on the other bed, we need to get this bed in order as well. And I don't know if y'all remember this, but this was that pot of potatoes we tried to start in the house. Y'all, I don't think there's anything in here, but we can't waste all this good soil. So my brother is going to pull these out, see if there's any potatoes in there at all that we can take in the house and enjoy. And if not, guess what? That's okay too. But he's going to work on this pot, and then he's going to work on setting this bed up as well with some more potatoes for this year. The potatoes that we're going to put in this bed here includes, remember y'all, I told you I'm going to put a bacon potato. I had given up on bacon potatoes, but I found a new variety. Here it is up here, right, y'all. I'm going to put it up here because I'm not going to mess that up. It's a new variety to me. It is a bacon potato. I'm going to give it a go. I'm trying my best and see if we can grow some baking potatoes. And then in front of this one is going to be more purple Viking. Y'all, I told y'all that was my favorite potato, so of course you know I'm going to have it everywhere. And then on the other side of that, I'm growing Canadian Gold. It's supposed to be similar to Yukon Gold. It's the first year that I've grown it, so we're going to see what it does for us in this bed this year. But I'm going to go back over there to my bed and finish working, and my brother is going to work on, please be a potato in there, please. He's going to work on trying to find us some potatoes that we can take in the house, and then he's going to work on getting these in this bed. After you do that, there's a potato. There's a potato. Is it big enough to even take inside? There's one. Okay. We got at least 2 potatoes, y'all. 4. You up to 4? I'll take it. Well, y'all, we ended up with 4 little baby potatoes here. 4. That's 4 more than we started with. So, not gonna be mad. There's some baby ones in here as well, but it was an experiment, y'all. We were indoors. We're not gonna worry about it because I know we're gonna grow some potatoes right here. But let me get back to what I was doing. Now, y'all know I'm still looking for potatoes. Y'all know I am. I know there's none in here. Anyway, let me get back to what I was doing. And I will bring you back in just a few minutes. I'm going to put them up here. All 4 of them. I'm going to eat them too. We are down to our 3rd bed. Y'all heard me. I said our 3rd bed of potatoes. Y'all, I love growing potatoes. And I try to grow potatoes twice a year. I get my early planting in the spring, and then I'll harvest these, and then I will stick something else in the ground and try to get a late season harvest as well. Now, my late season harvest is not as good as my original harvest, but it's still more potatoes coming in, and it gives me the year's supply. The one thing that I didn't talk about is how to plant the potatoes. So all your potatoes have these eyes on them, or sprouts or chits, depending on where you're from. When you put these in the ground, you want them facing up. Whichever way they're trying to grow, help it out. Let it keep growing that way. Put it in the ground and let them continue growing in the direction they're trying to grow. Now, if you put them in upside down, guess what, y'all? They're going to figure the way out and they're going to still grow for you. So don't worry about it. Don't let that scare you off from growing potatoes. Potatoes are super easy to grow. Now, I can't say you're always going to grow the biggest potato or the biggest bunch of potatoes, but you're going to grow something. You see, I got those 4 baby potatoes even when it was a mess. So anyway, so the next potatoes that we're going to grow, we've already talked about Desiree, which is my red potato. But in here, we're also putting in Nicola. Nicola has this buttery gold color to the flesh. The outside, I think, was a netted skin. I can't remember. Here's a picture of it. Flesh itself is this golden color. Y'all, what I did when I canned this past season, I took these and I put them in a chopper and I chopped them to perfect size pieces. And when I did that, I used that to can them. And now when I want potato salad, y'all, I just go get a jar of potatoes, and that jar, the potatoes are already cooked. All I got to do is prepare it. It was perfect. It was something I've never done before. That's the Nicholas. We talked Desiree. And then on the end, we're going to put Yukon Gold. Yukon Gold is a gardener's favorite. Lots of home gardeners grow Yukon Gold. Yukon Gold can be great one season, the next year you're like, where did it go? For me, I've always had good luck with Yukon Gold. They're a nice round potato. Here's a picture of it. And it's also a early potato. There we go. There's a good picture of how round and pretty it can be. And now it is an early season potato. It will be one of the first potatoes that'll come in for you when it's time to harvest. All around potatoes, good for a lot of stuff. That's Yukon Gold. So I'm planting this bed fairly close together. It should give me smaller potatoes, but a nice number of potatoes. These are more my salad potatoes, frying potatoes. My Desiree, of course, I'm gonna roast those all the way up. That's what we got going in this bed. Y'all, and we did fertilizer right in this bed. We broadcasted the fertilizers in the bone meals and what else? And blood meal. We did it the right way. And now we're going back. So we did it the right way. Now, what's happening right now is the dirt in this bed has dropped and we didn't add any. So we're going to add some dirt. We've already fertilized that kind of stuff. We're going to take some of our pots from last year and kind of backfill this bed just to bring the soil up just a little bit so that we got room for those potatoes to rest and play in some soil. So let's move these down first, these 3, and then we'll let, or 6, or how many of them down there, and then we'll put all that dirt right here. So we had flowers growing in this one last year. And of course, y'all, it's Happy Frog. It's always going to be Happy Frog. And I always reuse my soil. There's no such thing as spent soil, y'all. That is gold. That's what that is. That's the way I think about it. It's gold. Hate bugs. Can you break that one up for me? I just hate crawly things. Oh, yes. Worms are great for the garden as long as they're not green. Them cabbage worms, But an earthworm, oh, yes. And you know what else is good for the garden, Garrett? Earthworm castings.
Yeah, the worm castings.
Yes, yes. I said earthworms, but worm castings, yes. So, and I have some in there. I'm just not putting none in there today. But worm castings are amazing, especially in the absence of worms. So we got one last step to do, everybody. Now that we got everything in the ground, one of the most important things that you can do when you are growing potatoes is ensure nice, even watering. It needs to be watered nicely. And so in the heat of summer, you need all the help you can get to keep that water inside. So we are going to put a layer of mulch on, and we're going to use straw, I believe it is, that my brother's going to get right now. But you can use grass, cut up grass, leaves, anything like that. Just make sure that they haven't been treated with pesticides or anything like that, like a lot of people put on their lawn to kill weeds and that kind of stuff, make sure you're not putting that on your plants or on your vegetable bed. So make sure it's untreated. For example, my neighbors behind me, I know that they treat their lawn. And one year had the girls go grab grass clippings I could put on the bed. It killed everything. Everything. So I don't use my grass clippings anymore. And I buy stuff like this right here, Easy Straw. And you can get it from, your farm stores, your feed and seed stores, that kind of stuff. And it's supposed to be like 99% weed free. I've had really good luck with it. Last year, y'all, I never got it on my beds. I didn't. I meant to. Did I do it? No. But that's okay. We're going to get it on today. And we're going to add this to all 3 beds right now. And it flies everywhere. So watch your eyes. If it's still a little chilly where you live, you can still put your potatoes out up to, like, as long as the potatoes are below the ground and the greenery hasn't come above the ground, you'll be okay. If there's a frost or a freeze or snow or anything like that. The only time you get in trouble is if there's a lot of greenery above ground and then a heavy frost hit. It might kill the greenery, but it should just die it back, and then it should recover. So I always start, I'm in zone 6B. I always start my potatoes within the first couple of days of April. Now, one of the things you can see is that my straw is trying to fly away. So we have to wet it down before we walk away today. But I also have all of my beds on drip irrigation. So I already have a drip line running across the back, and we pulled it up to set up this here. And so we're going to put our irrigation lines back down. Make sure I'm not piercing a potato. And there we go, y'all. Oh, Garrett. Garrett, it's a dog. Where's the hoe? Garrett, he coming. Is he yours? Whew. Y'all, I about got attacked by a dog. I was ready for it, y'all. I had my hoe. I was going to get it. But apparently it was a friendly dog. Anyway, y'all, this bed is done. We got the water line in. We got our mulch in, the potatoes in. It's happy. And now we're going to wait for it to give us some potatoes. Now we're going to do the exact same thing for the other 2 beds as well. And then we're going to water it in. So let me go start watering this one in now. All right, so we are going to water this in so it don't fly all over the place, y'all. Getting it watered in, ready to go. And y'all, that's a wrap. That's the potatoes in, or at least the first round of potatoes in this year. We are getting the garden going. We are excited to be out here. And if the weather could just make its mind up, because the sun was shining a minute ago and now it's cloudy and it's getting a little chilly out here. But if the weather can stay consistent for any minute of time, y'all, we're going to keep getting our beds planted up for the season. Now, it's still too early for warm season crops, so it is not time to put those squash and cucumbers and tomatoes and peppers and eggplants out here. It's too early. But cool season crops, your collards, your turnips, your mustard, your lettuce, most of your herbs, what else can go out here? Celery, your peas, sweet peas, that's what I'm talking about. Your beets, you can put that out. Carrots, cabbage, broccoli, kale, cauliflower. There's still a lot of stuff you can grow in the spring. So get out in your garden and start growing something. So until next time, and I hope there'll be a next time that you choose to hang out with me and my brother at Kim's Cozy Corner. Talk to you soon. Bye.